going to go back into the realm of permissions, I'm afraid, but hopefully with a slightly different slant. We've been concentrating this morning on compliance and looking at it very much from your business point of view. And I want to turn that slightly on its head, and I'd like to talk to you about putting your consumer at the centre of your permission strategy. So I want to go through basically the permission, turn it into a positive experience so that you can actually gain something. I want to talk to you about the clarity and actually having a relationship with your consumer where you're all actually getting a benefit. I want to talk to you about potentially thinking differently from just having one statement, about actually breaking up your strategy, gaining your permissions, but then also having interests in so that you can utilise those when it comes to people wanting to opt out. I want to talk to you about timescales because it's very tight. And then I want to talk to you with a shameless plug about the fact I have a solution for it all. But to begin with, I'll give you a brief sort of history as to how Syrenis came into this space. Syrenis have actually been around for nearly 20 years, and predominantly we are across the three segments of government, direct consumer and charity. Our primary business used to be in stakeholder engagement, which was basically strategic communications, trying to get the message out to people, and it was about making sure things were targeted and of interest to them. This then became more apparent that those skills need to transfer into the D2C marketplace, and that we had the technology to enable this to be done seamlessly for people. To start off with, when you're talking to your consumer, if your consumer is going to be at the centre of your strategy, you have to start with an education, because most consumers don't really understand why they need to give you their permission, and they don't trust you at the beginning. This has been brought about by years of statements that have been slightly confusing, hidden at the back in the middle of a privacy statement. And so you're actually going to have to educate them about the fact that you do need their permission, especially with the PECA, to continue to communicate with them and the benefits that those communications are going to bring to them. Be honest about how you're going to use it. I know we covered some of this earlier on in the fantastic guide that advocates have also produced, but be honest about how you're going to use the data. You can be honest in a way that it's not frightening. There was a wonderful statement earlier that you put up, Lara, that was showed that and highlighted it. It doesn't have to be frightening. Promote the benefits of why you're asking for it. Explain that they're going to get the best offers. Talk about how you're going to tailor their experiences. Make it flexible. Now, this is what I meant about the fact that one statement I don't believe fits all. And I think that one of the advantages of if you've got a digital channel is that you can test some of your statements, and you need to test some of them, because you'll find that subtle differences, subtle changes make a big difference to your response rate. And also that if you basically test in a live scenario where you can get that live feedback back, you can then alter and drop statements, replace them with better, more effective statements. If I walk away from this microphone, please somebody sort of wave me back in, because I'm meant to have a wide mic and I'm used to walking up and down, so I want to go for a bit of a jog around the room. Confirm the customer, what the customer actually chooses. So there's been a lot of research actually about the fact that the majority of consumers opt out when they meant to opt in. There is a confusion around statements, and as many people opt out who actually want to receive your information as they do opt in and receive it. So it's a case of confirm and explain to your consumers exactly why you need the permission and how it will be used, and explain to them as well if they've opted out, which you can do under certain circumstances, that they've actually opted out of something, and do they realise what they won't get? And again, give them the opportunity to change their minds. Providing you're not marketing at the same time, you can do this. And primary is make it easier to change. So if somebody does opt out, make it easy for them to opt back in again. If somebody does opt in, make it easy for them to opt out. As long as you're putting the consumer at the centre of your strategy, you're going to go a long way along the road towards compliance. I think we started to cover this, but it's a case of move your statement from the bottom, from the back, from the last page, from the very last position everybody's going to look at, and bring it front and centre. You can't market to some people via some channels without their permission. So you need to actually sell that first to be able to carry on with your marketing. You need to actually put the same amount of effort into gaining your permissions that you do into all of your brilliant campaigns. The amount of creativity in this room with marketing your catalogues, your brands, your offers, how much effort has gone into your privacy statement? How much effort has gone into explaining to your consumers why you need to speak to them and how you want to speak to them, and the fact that there are different ways. The insight that you will gain as well, legitimately, open, by actually asking people for their preferences is huge, and you can use that across the board. There's also no distinction between business and consumer data, by the way, so I just want to get that out there. We have to treat it all the same way. Interests. Now, you're going to go to a lot of effort to gain permissions, and the last thing you actually want is for then those consumers to opt out. So the way that we actually have in our system, the way we suggest, is that once you've got that permission, once you've had somebody opt in, when they go to opt out, give them some options. Don't make it so black and white, because often it's just, as we were talking earlier, we're bombarded with emails, with communications, sometimes with catalogues. I remember one day I actually got 12 catalogues. Now I like all 12 brands, but I got them on the same day. And realistically, I would have preferred, because I prefer my content to be delivered electronically, that's just me personally, if I could have actually tailored a few of those. So when you gain permission to communicate with somebody and they go to opt out, there's some things I want you to consider doing. The first is granularize your permissions, because often it's that people would like to not necessarily receive all of your offers, but they do want to know when your sale starts. And they do want to know when your new season stock comes in. And they do want to know about, so when you granularize things, when you bring them down to what are they interested in, they'll suddenly go, when they go to opt out, oh, hang on a minute, well, actually, no, I do want to know when the sale starts, because that's when all the good stuff's there. I do want to know when the new stock comes in. I want to know what the new looks are. Or I do want to know. So all of a sudden it's a case of from that black and white area of, okay, I don't want to receive things from you. It's like, oh, actually, you know what? Do I really want to not get any of this? The second thing is holidays. People's circumstances change all the time. And one of the things that I think is a concept that I would like to consider is the idea of a permission holiday. So when basically somebody comes again to opt out, give them the option. Do they want to never receive anything from you again? Or actually, would they just like to have a break for 3 months, 6 months, 12 months? And then ask them why they want that opt-out. Because circumstances, it could be they're saving to get married. It could be the intel you will actually gain, because people will like to tell you. And they really do like the idea of holidays. We had some research commissioned that looked at holidays, permission holidays. And if people were given the option of opting out or taking a holiday, which would they do? And over a third of the people who responded said they would take the holiday. They would take the holiday, just to have a bit of a break, rather than opting out. I can go on about interests forever and how you can granularize them. Timescales. We do need to get a lot of this stuff in place, I'm afraid, and I don't know if 25th of May way. There might be some worried faces this time next year then, but hopefully you're all under control, you've got everything sussed, you know what you're doing, you've got your strategy. Everybody's nodding, honestly. And you're not too worried about this date. But what I would say is, if you haven't, then you need to start now. You need to basically think about your permission program, create your policy, promote it internally. This is a big thing. You've got to get everybody internally on board with the fact that they've got to put some effort behind the permissions that you need to gather, so you can get the resource, so you can get the creative resource, so people understand that without this, the rest of the business isn't going to happen behind it. And now I'm going to get to my shameful plug bit. We actually have a solution called the Preference Centre. You might have heard it's been in the media a couple of times recently. And this enables you to do everything that I've been talking about and manage it. It has APIs, widgets for going into various systems, including third-party websites. I don't know if any of you do joint campaigns with third parties where actually you're taking orders in via a third party, which means that you can push out your preferences, you're in control of them, and gather the data directly rather than having to go through your third party. It will do your holidays. It will also make you compliant because of the way that we store and manage permissions. So yes, we do take every single transaction in a transactional format with all of the details. We do hold the statements, we do have timestamps, and we do a merge based on the rules we agree with you in the background. On top of that, there's also a consumer portal that enables that basically you can take style sheet from your current website, and it enables all of your consumers to come in and manage their preferences themselves. Very much along the lines I was talking to you about, where when they go to opt out, you can bang them with a load of interests and say, are you sure you don't want to receive all of this? It is better when they have the capability of opting out, and in fact, when we have our holiday slide, when to opt out, we take them through a holiday slider, because nobody likes taking the slider all the way to the right. Have you ever done that? Nobody likes, it's like when you do a 1 to 5 sort of option survey, everybody goes somewhere in the middle, you never get 1s or 5s. Nobody likes being extreme to the right. So I'll be honest about it, you have to slide to the right to opt out completely. You can do it, we just take you through a bit of a thought process, and we show you the things you're not going to get. So I can then opt out of everything, except I do want to know when the sale starts, and I do want to know when the new stock arrives. So what I'm asking you to do is not think about it just from the compliance angle of putting a statement onto your various different channels, a single statement, and a single approach. I'm talking about basically having a variety of statements about, we even have within here the ability for you to target different segments with different statements, and the live testing with auto rotations. So I'm asking you to think about it very much from the consumer's point of view, because that consumer really does want to be in control, and if you put them in control, you will gain brand loyalty, trust, start because they're back in control. Half the people who opt out of something do it because they're afraid they can't do it unless they do it right at that second. So I'm just asking you to think about putting your consumer into the centre of your strategy and to start now. The preference centre sits in the middle of everything. They're saying that over there. So I would just say that if you make the consumer at the centre of your consent and permission strategy, and you give them the ability to manage their options and their permissions themselves, and you make it clear and transparent, you're already a long way down the line towards compliance. Thank you very much.